Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Ideas. Today I'm showing you another basics video. So I'm gonna show you how to use 4 or actually 5 needles when you do knitting. So 4 are in here and the 5th is my working needle, and soon you'll see what I mean. So yeah, the background story is that I have been knitting for about a year now. So last year I gave it a shot and I kept practicing. So yeah, I wanted to try doing socks. So I know there are different ways to do socks nowadays, especially with knitting. So this might be just one version of it. Even with round needles, with tiny ones, with all kinds actually. And today I decided to try it out with regular knitting needles. So I decided to try it out with you guys. So you see here that I have 4 plus my working needle. So here are the 4 that have all the stitches on them. This time it's 6 stitches per needle and they are holding all of this together. So our round is pretty small at the moment. This is just a test piece, so that's why it's kind of small. So yeah, if you're wondering why I'm showing you this, it's because you can do small circles or small rounds with this method. So theoretically you could do it with 2 needles and a line, but the line is a little bit too long for the type of project that I want to try out today. So I have here the longer ones. I have the shorter ones, so you see the line here, it's always attached to the ends of the needles and the whole thing has a certain length. That kind of determines the size of our project. So smaller than this wouldn't actually work with such needles due to their specific length. So here we have a lot more room or a lot more options to make the rounds really tiny, and it's a really simple method. There are different ones as well, but I'll start with showing you this one. So these are 2.5mm needles that I ordered specifically in order to do sock projects. So now I'll show you how you can knit when you have similar projects. So it's not difficult to do, but it does take some practice before you get the hang of it. So you just need a little bit of patience. Here I have the working thread, you see it, and we are going to the left. Here is my 5th needle in my hand, so I'm doing knit stitches. I'm trying to keep this loose, and you see that we have stitches on our 5th needle. And now I have the original needle free, so that one I can use as my working needle for the next section. So we just kind of switch and do the same thing. So I'll continue here. It's actually a super simple method, so it looks kind of scary with all the needles in here, but it's actually not as bad as it might seem. I personally was actually amazed that the needles don't slip out, so they do really stay in place. It hasn't happened once so far. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is the first time I'm trying this method out with you guys. So you see here that it's really not that bad to do. It's also really cool because the thread always tells you which way you're supposed to go. The 6 are also done, another needle is free, and we can start the next one. There we go. Now we can continue with the next needle. And the method is simple, you just keep doing rounds, and that's it. This is how the sock rows. So with each round that you're doing with each needle, you get a really neat result, and you see here what I get after just doing knit stitches. So you could do purl stitches and even patterns on here depending on what you want to get in the end. So okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Let's start from the beginning now. So let's pull all the needles out. So I'll take this apart because this was just a test piece to try it out on. So I have a different wool to start with. Take anything you have and let's try this out together. Okay, here are my 5 needles. So I had a 6th needle when I ordered this set, probably in case one gets damaged, or I guess you could even do 6 needles total, that's also an option. I'm still working with 5 total, and yeah, let's get started. I have a needle here and I'll start with regular stitches. So the size you can definitely vary depending on what you want. So yeah, as I said, you can even do 6 needles total. Feel free to let me know in the comment section if you have any other tips and tricks. I'm always grateful for those and I will share with you all that I personally know. So feel free to post any feedback below and I'll try to see if I can fulfill your wishes in case you have any. Okay. So now we have needle number 2. So we form a little cross and then we take the thread onto our needles or fingers and we start new stitches onto the new needle. Number 6 is done. So you see that it's simply continuing from one needle to the other. I push this out a bit so that it all stays in place, so 6 stitches per each needle, which means I have 12 total for now and I'm doing 6 more. And number 6 is done, so we have 18 stitches total. And I can slowly form a square shape. So 1, 2, and 3 sides. And side 4 is done. So I have 24 stitches on my 4 needles. So I gotta sort these out a bit so that you can see it nicely, so don't get scared if this happens, it's not bad, just take your time and organize them again. There we go, there's our square. Make sure that you don't have any twists going on. I'll put it down. And yeah, now the question is how it's going to continue. So from now, our working thread needs to be behind the work. And then we have here the first stitch that we did, so the red one. And now I'll push this needle outside like this. And the other one that I have, so the one with the last stitches, is on top of it. And then I'll go through the first stitch and I'll take the thread through. And I have it on my needle, on my new needle as well. second and third stitch are done, and we're doing just knit stitches this time. And 6. So I have here our first little section done, and we have a new needle free to start the next section. Fix it to secure this corner and push the needle to the side, and again repeat the same with your stitches on the next needle. And these 6 are also done. And I can now come to the last section that we still have to do. Another needle is free. And you see one round completely done, so just make sure you leave the beginning thread be. It's also hanging here, so it might get a little bit confusing when you work. And we are continuing round 2 now. Another needle free, and we can see the knit stitches. It's still the beginning, but it is something. I fixed the needles, and now I can start the next section. And the following 6 are here. Now I'll do a couple rounds more and show you what I have, but this is pretty much all there is to it. So here you can see the wonderful pattern in these awesome colors. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you today. So how to do rounds when you're knitting. We have 24 stitches here. It's kind of weird with all the ends sticking out for pretty much every side. Kind of scary, so 8 ends plus the 2 on the 5th needle, but it really isn't as scary as it seems. When you work it, it actually doesn't matter because you ignore pretty much the rest of all of these needles, and you just focus on the corner that you are starting at and you move on to the next corner. But you won't really notice the other needles after you get a little bit used to it. So just make sure you practice a little bit and it'll be just fine in the end. Also, this won't slip out, so that's what I was scared of. But if you keep the needles in the middle, it's just fine and you don't have to worry about it at all. So this is it. I hope I'm gonna be able to do my first sock this way. So if you do have any tips or tricks, feel free to share those below the video. You can also shoot us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the project and found it useful. And if you would like to stay updated with new stuff that we post, then feel free to click on the subscribe button and that way be subscribed to our channel. So thanks for watching DIY Ideas. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope to see you in our next project. Have a wonderful day. Bye!